Shalom. Call all y'all about shit. I'm sure Shalom to the left. Now, in this video, I just want to go in about Esau getting desperate and his attempts to set his nest among the stars and flee out of space and find a different planet. Then simultaneously, you got these scientists that's so bugged out. They basically saying we live in a damn simulation. So let me let this play. I'm gonna pull some presets.
Columbia University astronomer David Kipping recently took a deep dive into the age-old question: are we living in a simulation? Is our entire reality just a simulation created in another reality or a base reality, like what happens in the movie The Matrix? And after crunching lots of numbers and exploring lots of theories and research, he came up with a very serious, very scientific answer. First, he analyzed Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom's 2003 influential paper on the topic, which contends that one of three propositions must be true. Civilizations go extinct before developing the capability of creating reality simulations. Advanced civilizations have no interest in creating reality simulations.
See, that's false. Let me get a scripture on that. Generations just don't go extinct. Just like Esau. Esau ain't extinct. He's still roaming around. He got a different name now. It's the book of Ecclesiastes. In chapter 1, we'll read on now. This is in verse 1. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanity, said the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What profit hath a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. It says, and the sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he rose. The wind goeth toward the south, turneth about unto the north, it whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again, according to the circuits, which clearly cuts this flat earth bullshit. As people still be saying that flat earth stuff or whatever. Well, in order for stuff to turn in a circuit, it got to be on something round. It says in verse 7, all the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full, into the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. All things are full of labor, man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The thing that has been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. So all this generations and people going extinct, that's bullshit.
Or, yes, we are living in a reality simulation. Kipping took a hard look at that.
And see, the key about these scriptures, man, that's why it says in the book of Revelation, blessed is he that readeth. Now, it's a blessing to be able to see stuff like this, analyze it real quick, and through the Spirit, break it down with, what's really going on. Because everybody can't do that. Some of these scientists, they don't even know about some of these books. They might have read a chapter or two, or a certain book or something out of the scriptures, and it bugged them out so much, they try to discredit it.
And decided to condense the first two into one possibility, since they both boil down to the same thing, that no, we're not living in a simulation. So in other words, according to a very scientific report in Scientific American, he took Bostrom's trilemma and condensed it into a dilemma. Then, Kipping also argued that the more layers of reality a simulation was embedded in, the more computer resources would dwindle. So like if we're living in a reality created by a different reality, which was created by a different reality, etc., then it would get harder and harder to create a convincing reality, which might be a solid argument for the answer that no, we are not living in a simulation. Then, Kipping also argued that if we ourselves are able to invent a technology that can simulate a reality, it would really swing the pendulum the other way, to the possibility that, yes, we are living in a simulation. Because if we ourselves are able to create one, then there's a better chance that other civilizations were able to do it too and create our reality. And since our computer power is literally taking quantum leaps these days, we might get that answer sooner rather than later. So, Kipping took this deep dive, crunching numbers and considering all the scientific research and philosophical reasoning and all this stuff, and came up with the very serious, very scientific answer to the question, are we living in a simulation? And it is this. There's a 50-50 chance that yes, we are, which I find hilarious.
Yeah, it's very fucking hilarious. Esau bugged out, man. Them damn scientists, a bunch of damn demons. They sit around with these little bookcases and these laboratories, lab coats and shit, coming up with a bunch of bullshit. They don't have no base. No. Let me get one scripture up, and then I'm gonna play a few more clips. It's the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3. And these scientists are fucking smart. When a person dies, where the soul go at? Where your spirit go at? They're so fucking smart. But this way it go at. It's the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1. It says, to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that was just planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up. Now, the main point I want to get to, let me see, right here in verse 16. Oh, is it verse 16? Hold on, let me make sure. So like it's actually verse 21, not 16. No, it says, I'm going to jump back at 20. I don't even want to read, start at 21. It says, all go into one place, which is another cut to that hell doctrine. People talking about, oh, you going to go to hell. No, that ain't how it go. It says, all go into one place, all of the dust, and all turn to dust again. That's why your body go through, that process. It decay. It turns back into the elements. In verse 21 it says, who know the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of beast that goeth downward to the earth? Wherefore I perceive there is nothing better than that a man should rejoice in his own works, for that is his portion. But who shall bring him to see what shall be after him? So basically saying, who control the spirit? Where the spirit go at? Scientists talking about this damn simulation. Ain't no damn simulation. And the spirit of a beast or animal don't have to go up to a spiritual realm to actually get judged. Because they live like an animal. So they do what they're supposed to do. And they back right here on earth. But a person, though, actually human, they got to go up and get judged. Once you die, your spirit go up. And I'm going to jump back up to actually at verse 16. I'm going to read it. It says, and moreover I saw under the sun the place of judgment. So, the earth is up under the sun. While everything is moving how it's moving. Where did that hell doctrine come from? Because people say you go to hell to get judged, right? That clearly says right here, and moreover I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there. What's going on the earth? It says, in the place of righteousness, what's going on the earth? There's both things going on. You got people that help people, then you got people that harm people. And it says that iniquity was there. I said in my heart, Yahweh shall judge the righteous and the wicked, but there's a time there for every purpose and for every work. So, we in a place of judgment. We live it out on earth. I see people born missing limbs. People be born blind. Certain things or whatever. And there's an actual scripture. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I wasn't going to get it, but now I'm talking about it. When they asked Yahweh Shah why this man was blind, did he do something or did his parents do something? So let me find this real quick. It's in the book of John, chapter 9. I'm going to start at verse 1. I'm going to read on down. It says, and this is how judgment play out, because everything is, like the scripture say, it's a time for everything. This right here, this is time for them to do one of them works. Now, it says in verse 1, in the book of John, chapter 9, it says, and as Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Rabbi, who did sin, this man or his parents? Because they know if you do something in your past life, if he was born from birth, when he sinned, it had to be in his past life. Like I said, or his parents. Because sometimes you come back as you could be your, what people will be like, oh, you look, just say somebody be born, right? And they'll be like, oh, you remind me of your great-great-grandfather. More than likely, that's you. Now, verse 3, it says, Yahushua answered, neither hath this man sinned nor his parents, but that the works of Yahushua be made manifest in him. And that's what the time was for. That's the only reason why he was born that way. Because he was evidently a righteous man. It just so happened the works had to be done, and he had to be healed in that time frame. So, ain't no simulation. We living out on the earth according to what Yahweh created. And Esau, they can't take that. And then on top of that, they know that Yahushua and the Most High, Yahweh, is actually dark skinned. They know that these supreme beings, they orchestrated stuff that you see going on. It's dark skinned men. And they can't take that. There's much stuff that they did to us over the years with the slavery and the degrading of the men and the women and all that stuff. You got some, they humble down. They be like, well, you know, if God was, they throw the if in there. They say if he was real, he has to be a black man. Then you have the ones that don't want to own up to it. Hey, but they're gonna be forced into owning up to it. Now, let me get this scripture right here in the book of Timothy. It's in the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 3. It says, if any man teach otherwise and consent not to wholesome words, because these scriptures, they are wholesome words. You actually sit down and read this, and the Spirit will do it, dwelling in you, and actually revealing stuff to you. It make perfect sense. It's like you were a little kid and you grab puzzle pieces and you just start putting them together, and then you got your picture. That's exactly how this is. It said, even the words of the Lord, Yahushua Mashiach, and to the doctrine, which is according to godliness. If you apply this stuff, people look at you in a different manner. Like, man, it's definitely something different about this person. Some type of godliness about them, or whatever terms they use. People use different terms, but they'll see that and want to ask questions and see what's up. And they bring enemies, because, you know, a lot of motherfuckers, they rather live wickedly. Like, you got this little trend going around, niggas calling themselves demons. So you think they see somebody trying to live godly, they're going to be cool with them? Let me get one more precept. I'm going to play another video. It's the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 1, and verse 3. It says, as I besought thee, hold on, let me see. This is the right one. Go back real quick. Yep, that's it. 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 3, it says, as I besought thee to abide still at Ephesus, when I went into Macedonia, that thou mightest charge some that they teach no other doctrine. And these is them doctrines right here, this type of shit. Talking about some damn simulation and stuff like that. And then you have some Aki and they'll see stuff like that and kind of get swayed and listen to that. So, you know, you got to be alert when it comes down to this type of stuff. Let me go back one more time. It's in the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 9. It says, be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, not with meats, which have not profited them, that have been occupied therein. When it's talking about meats, it's not talking about actual food. It's just talking about the information that you eat up. Because you have some people, they pour out information, they'll be bugged out, and then somebody that's not aware, they eat it up. That's what it's talking about with the meats. You know, and the elites, they know this ain't no fucking simulation. Because if it was, they wouldn't be trying to do this. It says, let me read that. And see, this who really running shit. The people that your politicians and your presidents, they're not running shit. Niggas still believe that shit if you want. It says, the elites talking shop, the World Economic Forum, is pushing a plan for the post-COVID world. And this is all the agenda, them coming up with this shit, how they come up with a name and a patent for all this stuff. It says, hold on, let me pause this. It calls for a great reset of the world's economies, politics, and societies. So each all have an agenda, but the real agenda, they don't realize they be in control too as well, to push this agenda. But a lot of people, because really, our people really make up the majority. Ain't no minority. Our people scattered amongst all nations. So we really the majority. Even if our people look like somebody else, they still come from the same seed. Now, book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 8. It says, and it should come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, two-thirds, or 2 parts, I should say, therein shall be cut off and die. But the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They should call on my name, because you got to know the Most High name, and I will hear them. And I will say, it is my people, and they should say, Yahweh is my power. And that's what you see going on, man. Like, you be going through stuff. Like, I always talk to younger brothers, and I'll be like, man, when you going through stuff, you got to keep in mind, you could potentially be one of the future rulers of the kingdom, man. So the Most High, He not finna give valuable, precious information to some old weak bitch ass nigga. You really gotta go through something. You gotta experience stuff. You gotta get your EP up. Like how the video games, you got the experience points and all that. You gotta experience stuff. How you gonna rule with no experience? So that's why a third of certain people, they're gonna go through certain shit. You might say, like, damn, I'm always going through something. And so you can be refined as silver. Or you might, oh man, stuff, it seems like somebody always trying me. Somebody always trying me. That's because you're getting tried like that gold. Get all them impurities out of you. See how you're going to carry yourself through that adversity. So a lot of people that's not aware of this, and it's actually meant for this to fall upon them. When these elites actually push this into fruition, man, hey, shit gonna be wild as fuck out here.
We have to prepare for a more angry world, and how to prepare? It means to take the necessary action. What we want to do in Davos this year in this respect is to push the reset button.